Today's sessions, we have MMPM 005, Block 1, Unit 3, Consumer Behavior in Services. Contents for today we are going to cover: introduction, classification of buyers, service characteristics and implications for buyer buying decisions, consumer decision making process for services, factors influencing consumer decision making in services, and finally the impact of recent developments in technology on consumer behavior in services. So as we have discussed in the previous classes regarding how services is different from the product and how we have to give more importance to the services, because every aspect the service provider plays the vital role to convince the consumers. So here people show different behavior in buying using different products and services. Deeper insight is this behavior differences is called buyer behavior. So the consumer differentiate more often in case of services than the product, because services, as the person is involving mostly in the services, so each individual person's services differs because standardization cannot be possible. And keep customers satisfied, it becomes essential to have a deeper knowledge regarding the behavior of the buyer. So here interactive mostly interactions takes place between the service provider and the consumer. As per the consumer requirement, service provider has to go by this one. If it is possible, also go by the customization. That differs from place to place. If I will take the example of the different services, like if it is a parlor services, if it is a banking services, if it is a telecom services, all the cases, the customer, as per the requirement of the customer or need of the customers, the services differs. So classification of buyers, we have two categories of buyers: individual buyers, when the service required by individual customer, or we can say it is end users. So their family consumptions, family members are responsible for that to see that whether the performance or the services standard is good or not. And organizational cases, entire organization is responsible. There are people who are there in the purchase process, so there they will find that the services they are going to see whether these particular services is exactly required by the organizations or not, the standardization of that. But individual cases, it is the family and the individual member can take the decisions regarding that. So classification of buyers, B2B, mostly business to business when the buyers are there. So we will find that one organization is providing services to another organizations. Like I can say that take the example of the fire extinguishing system or centralized SC system. So if you are going to give to one organization to another organization, so entire plantation, the piping system, entire things being done properly. And if you are going to talk regarding software, now SAP also doing some organizations, if you want to do the SAP installation in that organization, so you need to see each and every kernel of that organizations and verify the accuracy of that particular software. So as large number of people are influencers, therefore B2B purchases takes longer time to minimize the perceived risk. So we know it very well that in B2B cases, each and every label must be the service being judged by the different sections of people or different departments people, and the risk is also associated with that one. That means huge cost is involved to give the services to the organization rather than to the customers. The elements reviewed in the evaluation process are price, quality, reliability. So these three criteria are more important, that every organization is going to consider what amount they are going to pay and how to utilize that particular fund properly. That means otherwise there's a huge cost for the company to pay for the services. Quality, the quality or level of advantages or the things is operating efficiency, that must be seen that the efficiency level is very high. Quality wise, you can say reliability, how many days that remained with that one, or it deteriorating, or there is a constant customer support is available from the company's side, is there or not, that is also being studied and known. More is the complexity in service enhances the importance of confidence in the service supplier. So more is the complexity, so there is a huge requirement and every aspects must be judged properly whether the service is being delivered in the right manner or not, that is going to be the same. Service characteristics implications for the service buying decision. So here you will find that intangibility, and we talked in the previous classes that services are mostly intangible in nature, means you cannot touch but you can feel. Heterogeneity, I told that all the services are not same. Like product, you will find that mostly homogeneous products are there, but in services heterogeneity, because the service providers, the people being involved in that also determines the standardization of the services. Maybe some cases very high standard, some cases very low standard. That is the kind of each person is being involved in that particular program. Inseparability, that means when I told that the supplier providing the services, that particular time client must be there. Like the doctor is there, no patient is there, means you cannot give the service. If the parlor person is there and the client is not there, then cannot give. Banking personnel is giving services but no customer is there, then you can't give the services. So several implications arise for the consumer buying behavior. So, and these include information source behavior. So when we are determining to get the service, we are very often spending more time for the services than the product, because to select a right parlor, to select the right bank to invest, to select the right flight to move up, train, all those cases, it means we are searching the information. Risk perception, the every services there is a risk being also associated. We try to minimize the risk. Brand loyalty, we very often in case of services are very much brand loyal, where we are getting more better services. We do not want to lose that services by switching over to a new kind of services or new brand of services. Attribution of dissatisfaction, so new kind of services, unknown services, the dissatisfaction level is very high because your expectations cannot be fulfilled, or expectations may not be standardized, or expectations cannot be known properly in case of the new services. Now, service characteristics implications for the service buying decisions. So intangibility continuum. So we are going to find that tangible to intangible components, the continuums are there, where the continuums we discussed that. In that particular continuums, you will find more tangible goods from the product side and less tangible goods in the service side. So you will find mostly it is service oriented. Product case, search qualities dominate while services are dominated by experience and credence quality. So when it is a product, we are searching too many products, but in case of services, we only find that the people, those who have already experienced the services, we select those, we select that kind of services. And credence quality is that also you must have the believability on that one, that that particular service is providing. Otherwise, you got the information from your friend circle or peer groups who has given this surety about the quality of the services, and that is the credence what you're going to get it. Now, continual evaluation of different type of products. So you'll find that most of the goods and most of the services, if you are going to find, it is quite easy to evaluate the products rather than too easy to evaluate the services, because services, lot of components being involved in a particular services. Like we can say that there are tangible components and intangible components involved in the services. Like if you have seen the movie somewhere and gone for a bus or gone by this one, sometimes the climatic conditions, sometimes the environment, sometimes the atmospherics plays a vital role to get the right kind of services. Let us say we have selected a hotel, the food quality is good, but the service quality is not good. So we cannot say all those product cases that this is the service is equal. So service differs because of the person, because of the types of products being used to give the services. Like we can say that in a eye specialist is using the separate instruments to test the eye, and eye specialist is not using any instrument to. So both the cases the service standard differs. So here we will see that the continuum evaluation of the different type of products. So most of the product cases we are going to find that is clothing, jewelry, furniture, houses, automobiles cases we will find these are the products associated with the services. Clothing kind of things that services are limited. Most of the product cases you are satisfied then you are purchasing. Jewelry cases also the same. Mostly it is a physical mode, but the environment, clothing cases, the environment where are you purchasing the product also plays sometimes a vital role. Jewelry also the same thing. Furniture also the same thing that when you are purchasing any furniture that you want to see also the AC environment, the space availability, the lighting system. Automobiles, houses also the same. You are going to find that going to a house, seeing the different places of the houses, well ventilated, how lights are coming, then the space availability. So everything you are trying to see that one. So this is automobiles cases also the same thing. Is it happening that the environment plays a vital role? That is what we call it as atmospherics. High in experience qualities, restaurant meals that it is previous people have been to that particular hotel. We can believe more vaccination, sorry, a vacation also like that. You have been to a particular place, the locations, how is that the hotel facilities available nearby the location. Then haircuts also, selecting a particular salon, all this kind. Then child care system also, sending your child to that particular area. It depends on also that previous the brand image of that particular child care system. So high in experience quality. So here experience, people have the experience can give the better informations regarding that one. And next is coming that television repair cases that here high credence. If you have visibility on the technicians or the mechanics, then you can give your bike to their televisions. Then legal services cases also the same thing that you are very much afraid of that to win the case or lose the case. Root canals of doctors, dentists also without having the knowledge, you may not go for any kind of operations if the doctor credential you have not studied properly. Auto repair also the same thing I discussed. Medical diagnosis also you need to find out that which has the good diagnostic service system that you might have gone through the your friends, your other people to ask this particular question several times to understand the credence of that particular service center. So these are mostly the continuum of evaluation different type of products. So starting from most goods to the services, and we will find that evaluating a product among too many products is quite easier than to evaluate the service among the too many services. So consumer decision making process, as services are rich in experience and credence qualities, the following important aspect related to consumer decision making process need to be understood. So services are rich in experience. That means if you have previous experience of that kind of services, you can give that the services is better. We know it very well also when you are purchasing a car, very often the car companies are inviting the customers for a demo ride. So demo ride plays a vital role that how are you experiencing this particular kind of environment? Are you getting advantages of that one, or the services is better than the previous any models what you have seen? Credence quality is what extent you can believe the what kind of services provided by the company. So company is reputation. So how many years they are operating in the market. And the following important aspect related to the consumer decision making process. So information search. So first we know it very well that in our consumer behavior cases we will find that five aspects are there: information search, need recognition, then information search, then evaluation of alternatives, then purchase, that is then it is post purchase. So information search is that you are collecting the information from the different sources. Might be through the advertisement, sales promotion, directly you have seen the product in the market and you have related for that one. So mass communication conveys very little about the experience quality. So mass communication, you can see also the new kind of services is it coming to the market, and the new services, if you have the experience about the services, then you can know about more. And if you do not have the experience regarding that services completely new through the advertisement, you can able to know and evaluating on the basis of that. Most of the service providers are local and independent, so we know it very well. The service provider must reach to the client point, so that's why the service provider must be nearer to the your residential area, and they are local people mostly you will find, and independent also you are going to find, therefore lack the financial marketing acumen to promote their offerings. Shared advertising is rare as the producer and retailer are the same in services. So the advertisement doesn't plays a vital role for the services, only for the initial knowledge you can able to know the services, but the credence of the services, how many years is it operating, the sources is right or wrong. So everything cannot be evaluated through the advertisement. Very few attributes of services could be discovered prior to the purchase. So you need to find out that which attributes you have the knowledge previously or today you are acquiring the knowledge on that. On the basis of that also you are going to take the decisions. Criteria for evaluating the quality. Consumers normally tend to evaluate the quality of a service offering through its price and physical facilities. We know it very well that whenever we are going to any particular kind of services, if you are going to a bank, then you are asking for what is the minimum balance you have to maintain in your savings account, and what is the withdrawal charges, how many withdrawal can be possible. So these are the cost associated with the services and the quality of services what you are getting. If you will go to the parlors, or if you are going to the hotels, you will find the physical facilities, the sitting arrangement, the AC system, then other things are there, and what the price are they charging for that. Higher the price, better is the quality perceived. So we have also another tendency that if you are unable to evaluate the standard of the services by a direct process, you can go by paying more price. Definitely, you will get a better service. That is also like that. Just like I can say that if you are going to book a ticket in a movie hall, so more is the price you are going to pay. So definitely the seat will be better seat, and you can the visibility also better. Now, evoked set of alternatives, as we have discussed some extent that in consumer decision making process, that evoked set is a part of your Howard set model, where you will find that the evoked set most reputed brands remain in the evoked set of your brain or your memory. Differences in retailing. So here it is highly uncommon to find more than one provider of services in a given area. So you will find that the same services through the retail, maybe more number of retail outlets are there, then you can differentiate. If limited number of retailings are there, so quite difficult to differentiate the services. The consideration set is small as very little information is available prior to purchase. Consideration set is a set where you will find these brands can be further considered, means they are not at all very good, but they are up to a particular level which can able to satisfy your needs. So for that reason, so consideration set also sometimes you are keeping, sometimes what is it going to happen, You have the limited informations regarding the brands, but later on you gather more informations and you can take the decisions for that one. So we can't say that consideration set also you are not purchasing the product. Consideration set also sometimes you are selecting the brands and you are purchasing the product. Innovation diffusion. So here, like products cases, how innovations diffusion takes place. Any innovations will be there. It will take some time to diffuse in the market. So the price charging by the marketers is trying to do the speed of innovations of diffusions. They are going to speed it up. How are they going to do? They might be offering with a competitive price structure or which attributes are available in this particular product, not available with the others one. And besides that, also your brand reputation is very high in the market. So because of that, also the acceptability of your product or services is very high. So diffusion process is faster. Complexity of services make it difficult to evaluate. So more is the complex product, so difficult to diffusion because let the people understand first what kind of product is it, and more complex means more is the price and more is the complex and quite difficult for the customer to understand. So complex cell phone sets, complex TV sets, the acceptability will be not very high. So mediocre, where you will find that majority of people can understand very fast or quick, that kind of models and sets, acceptability or diffusion is very high. Now perceived risk. Consumers associate greater risk with buying services than with goods. So services cases, they know it very well that the ownership transfer is not possible. So you are getting the services there only, and for that you are charging also. They are charging, the sellers are charging. So to get that particular services, if you are not verifying very well, so there is a chance that the marketer may cheat the customers by providing limited services, and customer has to pay a huge quantity amount. Intangibility of services which make it difficult to get information about the offering. So intangibility of services means you can touch it but you can feel it, which makes it difficult to get information about the. So it is difficult that if you cannot touch, you cannot see that particular services very well. So it's quite difficult to evaluate that and to get the information regarding that. Most services are not standardized. So we told from the beginning, services are not standardized. If you are going to talk regarding banking services, that is almost standardized. That you can predict about what is the duration taking to open a new account or to see verify your account balance, so like that. Unlike in goods, most services do not come with guarantees. So there is no chance of guarantee in case of services, but chances of guarantee is available in case of product. Now, brand loyalty. So, brand switching is lesser with services as compared to the products. We know I told from the beginning that the brand switching is very rare. You will find in case of services. The reason is that once somebody is accustomed with one kind of services, he do not want to or she do not want to lose this particular. She doesn't want to lose that particular thing. The reason behind that is that switching cost is very high. That means switching from this brand to next brand to get the services might be the chances is high also for get better services or got worse services also. For that reason, once customer satisfied with a particular kind of service provider, so he doesn't want to lose that particular service provider. Greater search and monetary cost associated with moving to another. So that's why we discussed regarding this one that it is the switching cost. So switching cost will be very high. That means to dissociate or separated from the a good brand of services where you have already got or satisfied of the services to a new brand of services where you have limited knowledge of that. Fewer substitutes are available for services. So we know it very well that when we are going to get the services, mostly the services are nearby our residential area. So substitutes availabilities are less. So out of that one substitutes, we are going to select one of them that who can be the right person to give the services. The rapport that a consumer creates with a service provider or prevents him from moving to a new provider. So the rapport means the relationship already maintained by the service provider with the clients, it's quite difficult. The client will get the same standard of services from a new service provider. That's why also seller or the customer is also not willing to attach he or herself or himself with any new brand. So that's why brand loyalty is more in case of services than the product. Now, the provision of the service is based on the requirement stated by the consumer. So, attribution of dissatisfaction. What are the attributes we are going to select that if this is not present, we are dissatisfied? Like I can say that if you have been to you're taken your car and getting the services, it is a time based. Sometimes if you are not limited time they have taken and give the services, you may be dissatisfied that the mechanics has not seen properly of your vehicles. So that is the things are coming under always under the customer's mind. So that's why what is it happening? You just go to any car service center, they are never going to consume more time. They will simply say, please come by this one and take your vehicle. So that is what attribution means. What are the different things they want to clean it? They know it very well that. And if you are going to cheat the customer by saying this is the time consumed, the consumer may also ask the reverse questions that why are you going to consume much more time when the services are limited? So like that. Perceived control, Betson emphasizes that consumers evaluate service control they are able to exercise in a given situation. So, what the services you are going to get, you are trying to see that that services will consistently maintained or not. Otherwise, this persistent perceived control is there. Today, what the standard of services are you getting? Tomorrow, you may not get the same standard of services. Perceived control theory is based on the premise that the customers feel more satisfied with a service if they believe that they have better than control over the service delivery. So, what the service provided by the marketer, if you are satisfied more, and that is better than the already somebody is provided services or you got this particular services earlier. So that particular cases you are you are getting a higher standard or you are more satisfied from that. Now on the consumer decision making process for the services, as we had already discussed in the case of product, that is need recognition, pre-purchase search, evaluation of alternatives, purchases, then the post-purchase behavior. That is the same thing, the repetition. Repetition is there in case of services, that is need recognition, search for information, alternative evaluations. Here buying decisions is the new one, that search for the suppliers. Here the client service provider is important because it's not like that to deliver the product. And purchase. Purchase is was there and post purchase behavior. So only 4-5 is the 2 points being included in case of services, which is not present in case of the product in the consumer decision making process. Now, consumer decision making stages for the services. So, first pre-purchase stages, that what are the things is incoming. Awareness of need, information search. How often we can able to know the need of ours. So, for this one, either you are searching lot of informations in the market, so we can know about the need, or the product information what is it available in the market is superior than what the product involved in the your own home. So that is creating the awareness need information search. Clarify needs, explore solutions. So when you identified your awareness level, that is due to the information you are going to get through the different sources, the advertisements and other sources. So that is what is it happening, that it is more clarity being you are going to get. More is the information search you are going to do, and you try to find out also the solutions for that particular need recognition. Identify service products and suppliers. So two things are there: what kind of service is it available, that is number one. Number two is that who is going to provide that particular services, that suppliers also you need to. So what you need to see, that first is the need arousals, that is directly coming from your body, that may be required, and evoke set is that from your memory you are trying to search which are the brands available in the market. That is the key concept. The second case is search experience and credence attributes. So here review supplier and alternative information. So you try to see the different sources those who are providing the services to the customers, and that can be possible through by going through the advertisements or verify the different kind of browsers are there. Then websites, you need to search through the different websites to get back. A review of information from the third parties, yes, that is published reviews means published articles are available. You can get it. Ratings of that particular product or solutions. Comment on the waves, how often people are going to see that particular wave. They are giving the comment blogs. Complaints to the public agencies, that how often people are giving their complaint to the public agencies. Satisfaction ratings, awards, discuss options, and service personnel get advice and feedback from the third party advisors and other customers. Very often, this is happening also, getting this information directly from the customers, or a third party is responsible, like the research organizations, those who are going to give the idea regarding these companies, those who are providing the services are good or bad, like that. So here two things are there, key concepts. So search experience and credential attributes. You need to search who are the service provider. Experience that the service provider really providing right kind of services or not. Credential attributes, that how often you have seen these people are provided the right solutions by verifying through your friend circles or from the market. Perceived risk, the risk being associated with that kind of services and how to recover from that one. So any services problems will occur in future. What kind of guarantees or warranties you are going to get it from the service provider. So that is mostly happening in the case of perceived risk. Formation of expectations. So here expected levels. So we are going to find that is desired service level, predicted service level, adequate service level, and zone of tolerance. So we will find that the desired service level, what is really required, everybody required this particular substance, that must be available in the market. Second is predicted services levels. So although these services are available with the people, they require some new thing, and that must be present with your present product. And then is adequate service level. So as the service they are providing, that is the quantity is sufficient or insufficient, that also going to be seen. And zone of tolerance, we are going to see that the zone of tolerance, what extent the customer can able to accept or do not require a replacement, new replacements. So after that zone of tolerance will be over, then they definitely there is a purchase of the product. Beyond that, customers cannot survive or cannot remain with the old products or services. He has to go for the new product or services. Now, consumption or service encounter stage. So, service encounter stage means where people are interacting with the service provider or the client is interacting with the service provider. So, request service from a chosen supplier or initiate self-service. So, if you are getting the self-service, then product quality can be judged and how quickly that service being given to you. Second case is if the chosen supplier is going to provide, so supplier is responsible for that to how to provide this particular kind of services. What are the precautions they have taken so that product came to in the right quantity or right position. So these are the things mostly they are going to do. Then service delivery by the personal or automated system or self-service. So who is the service delivery persons? That a trained person is giving services. Everybody is interested for to see how frequently is he doing. And next is the service delivery for the personal automated. So who is delivering services, that person will also you need to see what is the percentage of autonomous and percentage of individual. And here that the key points are that moments of truth means where you have attached with this particular customer, that is client, direct client interactions with the service providers. Substance system is the production of the services, and where the service is being produced, that must be seen properly to know that the brand preference formations is that whether the client or customer has a specific preferences for a specific brand or they are giving emphasis on a specific brand, so that is the brand preference formations can be possible. Post encounter stage, evaluation of service performance. So how are you evaluating this particular service performance, then future intention, what is your future intention for that particular services, future you require this kind of services or not, or services being changed. Like I can say that we are happy with the 4G services, but still 5G services are available. So future intention is that people may switch over to 4G to 5G. So that's the kind of things. Key concepts. So here it is that confirmation or disconfirmations of expectations. So are you confirmed that 5G will come or 6G will come like that, or you are confirmed also another 4 5 years 4G will work like that. So you are confirming your expectations. Dissatisfaction, satisfaction, and delight. That dissatisfaction is that your expectation level is more than the actual level what you are getting. And expectation level is equal to what the delivery of services will be there. That is satisfaction. And your expectations is below the service delivery system, then we call it as a delight. Customer is over happy and over satisfied. Then service quality evaluation. So we need to see that what extent this is better services or inferior services. Word of mouth, people are going to talk about that services, that you are going to definitely going to find that this service is a good service one. Repurchase, prepare, people are frequently going to that particular parlor, frequently going to that particular branch of the banks, maybe going to say that this is a good brand. Brand or provider loyalty means how many loyal customers are there. Also you need to verify what is the brand image of that particular service. Also you need to verify to see that. Now, pre-consumption stage cases, what we have seen in these particular cases, then we are going to little bit narration of that one. The first stage in the decision process is shared in the above paragraphs, consist of the need recognition, information search. As we know it very well in that consumer decision making process, the first three stages of that one is the need recognition, information search, and alternative evaluation. Means we need any product that is through the influence of the external stimuli or the internal stimuli. Then information search always from our internal, that is from the memory or from the external search. And evaluation of alternatives, finally, which are the brands remained. Out of that, we are evaluating which is the best one for the purchase that we are going to do. Now, need recognition, one by one, we will go for need recognition may be activated by a physical condition like hunger, may activate a search for the food delivery services. Like you know it very well, when people feel that lunchtime, is it lunchtime and we are feeling hungry. So they are thinking of that particular time, which hotel to go. If they do not have the vehicles, they may go through the Swiggy or Zomato to verify which kind of food is it available, and they can able to deliver within a specific time period. Next is coming your unconscious motivations or aspirations may activate the need for a haircut. Sometimes emotionally we like to do something like unconscious motivations. We have a strong inclination for a particular kind of services. We have aspirations for that one, that kind of services that leads to that you are going to do. External influences also what I told that need recognition cases. If the advertisement is too strong, it can able to create or the sales functional activities, the discounts, the premiums. So recently during the Durga Puja festivals, so lot of attractive incentives being given by the different companies to influence the customers very well. So these are all external stimuli by which they can able to generate the need recognition. Now, information search. The information search may involve alternatives like self-provision or buying your preparing a fresh line of your or order it. Once the decision to buy the service is made, several alternatives. So here, if you are feeling hungry, then you need to find it out also what kind of food you require. Whether you are hungry at the morning time, hungry at the evening time, hungry at the night time, it differs from to select the different kind of hotels. And the product consumption, the quantity consumption also depend on the different situations. Ebook set for services may be drawn from your experience. So you have too many years of experience because you stayed in that particular location too many years. and as you have stayed there for too many years, you must have the knowledge regarding all the hotels or other service providers nearby. So now these are already available in your ebook set, because the most reputed brands or recognized brands what customers are appreciating always remain in the ebook set of their memory. So any product they want to purchase, so they will first go through the ebook set to verify these brands are good or bad. That's why ebook set for the services may be drawn from your experience. So you have gone through the different experience, because of that you have tested, you have used these particular products, you have knowledge regarding that particular product, or you have done that kind of experience earlier. The marketing stimuli that you are exposed to the information coming in form of reference group. So very often that as we are exposed towards the different kind of advertisements or exposures like the sources, sales promotional, print medium advertisement, electronic medium advertisement, cell phone internet services. So all those are informations are coming to us through the stimuli, and the decision by service is made several out of those alternatives. We are finding out that which alternatives we require most. Evoked set for services may be drawn from your experience. So always we are being bombarded through the different kind of sources who are providing the information to us regarding the different kind of services and product. So that is affecting our senses. So all our senses are very active to receive this kind of information from the different sources. And out of these brands, we are evaluating which brands are the good brands. We are trying to keep those brands in our ebook set of the memory. So ebook set for services may be drawn from your experiences and the marketing stimuli that you are exposed to, and the information coming in the form of your reference group. So we are getting that one, the reference groups informations. Sometimes they are also educating us, giving right informations regarding the different kind of services which we are interested for, like to do any insurance, to go any holiday package. So this reference group helps a lot regarding that one. Now evaluation of alternative, or we can say regarding alternative evaluations. So what are the different brands we have seen, and out of those brands we have selected the most reputed brands or recognized brands, and now you are going to evaluate out of these particular brands 5 to 10 what you have kept it at the end. So marketers have been using the facilitating of technology to expose potential buyers to some experience qualities in case of services. So nowadays also, when we are very often confused about the different brands of the same services, so we are going through the internet and comparing the different services. There are a number of websites that are available in the market where you can compare both the brands. You can write, and automatically there is a similarities index and dissimilarity index is there, where you can able to see what way both the brands are same or different. A lot of service providers are media based service demonstration. So media basis advertisement cases also, they are trying to demonstrate very well that how these services are different from each other, and which service you like most, you may purchase that kind of services, or it is a customized one, or as per your requirement the services can be taken also. Now perception and management of risk by service consumer. So risk perception is that consumers thinking that the taking that services will be right or wrong, or to pay more amount of money for that kind of services. Is it a wise decision or not? This is a risk perception is associated with that one. It's much higher in all those cases where the proportion of experience qualities and credits qualities is higher than that of such qualities. So here you will find that the search qualities is better, then we will find that experience qualities and credit score is higher. That means you are higher experience on that particular cases, and you have a strong believability. So here your searching depth will be very high, because you are going to deselect the brands or the sources where the um, qualities are not good because you are experiencing this particular thing by qualities and credence. You are believing a strong one. Previous services are better services, and previous organizations, those who are providing this one also is a great one. So that particular cases, your searching qualities will be more stronger. Let us say you are always going to a particular movie to watch a movie hall to watch a movie. So next time when you are searching, you credence is good, and at the same time also experience is also good regarding that movie halls. But when you are selecting another movie, also your search quality will be quite high because you want to see that other movie hall what extent that is better than this one. So consumers also feel higher risk in situations where the results of service performance are non-reversible on long term. So your situation, your service performance is non-reversible, means it will not change in the long run. The same standard, the risk will not be very high, so risk will be limited. So that you need to see that. More is the risk, you may not continue with that same services. You may switch over to one services to the next one. Service consumers handle this risk by seeking information from the personal sources who may have used the service, relying the reputed service provider, visiting service facilities, or even talking to the service employees. So, if you are a continuous user of a particular kind of service providers and you came to know some wrong thing is it happening, so you are trying to verify whether this one is right or wrong. Like I can say, if you are using a antivirus system and you are happy with the antivirus system, and a lot of people are going to talk about your antivirus system is not a right kind of things to verify whether the virus is there or not. There are a number of new viruses are coming which is going to affect your system. So here you want to verify that one, that whether this one is good or not, and you need to verify that services. Telecom services cases also, switch over from one services to the next services, you need to verify. Let us say you want to switch over from Geo to Airtel or Airtel to Geo, as you are earlier using that kind of services, you are quite accustomed. So it's a reputed brands also. So switching over to one brand to another brand is also a great challenge to you. And sometimes you may verify through the employees of that organization is the standard deteriorate or something is there like that. Now, the role of consumer expectations. The service expectations have a major impact on the feeling of customer satisfaction during the consumption. So, the service expectations is based on that when you are first time getting the service, your service expectation is very low. The day by day, when you are getting the services better, so your expectations also going up. Like I can say that if you are using a cell phone, so initial days the cell phone expectation is very low. It's simple camera or simple screen also enough to satisfy. Later on, you have seen the clarity. Later on, you have seen the sound qualities. Later on, you have seen the different operations, the speed of internet. So everything when you have seen your expectations has gone up. So that is what customer satisfaction is also. Attaining customer satisfaction is quite difficult task by the companies to maintain that level so that they can able to satisfy the customers' expectations. A range of services expectations as developed during the pre-consumption phase can be better understood by looking at the range of expectation of the given services. Sometimes we have seen also that certain product cases, the services being seen that the level of services are they providing the beyond their expectations, then it is happening. Then the charges will be very high. Like some of the new services they want to accommodate with your flight, that the internet services, Wi-Fi systems, or you can operate your own works there like that. So some new services being implanted with the previous services, so that the charges they get charge very high for that one. The desired service is the expectations of the service that the consumer wishes and hopes for. The desired service level is formed on the basis of explicit and implicit promises made by the service provider. So your expectations services must be meet through your desired services because the companies are always trying to, their R&D department is trying to develop so that what extent the consumer expectations is going up, that is the extent they want to give. Like I can say that The cell phone battery backup, earlier 2000 mAh battery system also, that is right one. Now 5000 mAh also not sufficient. People are as the number of operations are more through the internet services and other social medias, people are busy with that one. So because of that, the consumption rate is also very high, so they require also equally the backup system of the cell phone. So companies are trying to meet the expectation of the consumers by providing the desired services in that. Now you will find that the consumer expectations and zone of tolerance. So desired service is that, and adequate service is that one. Means your desired services, what your expectations, and the adequate services, what the company is providing. The gap. So if there is a specific gap that can be tolerated by the customers and can go for the product. But if the tolerance zone is bigger, the gap is more, then customer may not purchase this particular things, because the difference is much more. So desired service versus the adequate service. So tolerance zone is a particular extent of tolerance zone, consumer will accept that one, and more is the tolerance zone, consumer may switch over to do that one. Now the purchase decisions, that when everything being seen that the expectations level by the desired level, what you are going to get it from the companies. So when this is almost matching to each other, so purchase decisions will be there, or your service provisions will be bigger, more than your expectations of the customer. So customer will be delight to purchase that particular product. So here routinized response behavior, customers will do the routinized response behavior because almost all the attributes known earlier by the customer. Only thing is that what grade of upgradation has happened. Means I can say, right, earlier it is a 4 GB RAM, now it is 8 GB RAM upgradation is there. So earlier the space was 64 GB, now it is 128 GB. Earlier it was a 4000 mAh battery, now it is. So this is a routinized response. We are specific attributes you require that that must be good, so that I want to purchase, or I will switch over from my previous brand to the next brand. Consumption stage, we'll find in this stage where the consumer experiences the services, which begins after some positive actions like placing a service order or applying for the service delivery is undertaken by the consumer. This stage is also called service encounter stage. Means people directly having the contact with the suppliers to get these particular services. Like if you have been to the parlor, if you have been to the bank, if you are moving by the flight, or you are getting to the train and train is moving, that particular time you are in directly contact with the service provider. So when you are in direct contact with the service provider, so what it is happening, it is an encounter stage. This is a two-way communications is it possible. So customers now able to feel it that whether this is a good service or a bad service, or maybe identified which are the attributes that are bad about these particular services. The term moments of truth was introduced by the Richard Norman to show the importance of the contact point for the service. And this is the more important thing in the service delivery system, that the moment where the contact takes place between the service provider versus the client. So if this is not happening as per the expectations, so instantly customer will be dissatisfied and may not wait for the end result. So that's why a moment of truth means the touching point must be very important. Contact point is very important. That the suppliers must, or service provider must be very much careful about to handle the client or the customers, so that it will be a long-term process. Now, post-consumption stage, you will find in this stage where the consumer having experienced the service. Now he got this particular service, experienced the service, evaluates the service experience in terms of meeting, failing to meet or exceeding his expectations. So you have been one time or two time or three time to get these particular services. The service standard is what you are getting. The right kind of services or not. Like I can say that you have been to a doctor first time, very nice experience you have. Second time you have been also very nice experience, but your problem is not solving. You are still feeling the fever. So what it will happen that it is the expectations, your minimum expectations is not met. But if you have gone to the same doctor, that first time you have gone there, taken the medicine, and you are happy. Next time you have enter problem. Second time you might have gone through the another problems, and that is also solved. So it is exceeding the expectations. So more is the expectations is going up because this service provider can able to fulfill what was the expectations earlier, and now more expectations are there, and service provider try to do that one. So the pre-purchase confirmation of the services expectations. So consumer satisfaction practical defined as the fulfillment. So fulfill, and you try to fulfill what the requirement of the services by the customers. As for that requirement, you are trying to provide. Like it's a 1 year massage parlor is going to give the 1 hour massage, and if it's not going to provide 1 hour massage, or the quality of the massage is not good, or not using any kind of oils and other things, so that is lowering the requirement, means the expectation level cannot be fulfilled. The inability of the service to meet consumer expectations leave the consumer with a feeling of dissonance and dissatisfaction. Means what the commitment you have made with the client regarding the services, if you are not providing the services as per the commitment, so customer will be dissonance. There will be dissonance will be there, and dissatisfaction. So here are the factors affecting consumer behavior. That is. If we can say person to person differ in terms of cultural, how cultural they are different, culture, subculture, social culture, it's different, religion people are different, which reference group you are in, then family backgrounds of yours, and roles and statuses you have played in the family or outside the society. These also affects a lot to get the service from the customer, from the service provider. Personal, your age, which age, what kind of occupation you are in, economic circumstances, what kind of lifestyle you are maintaining, what is your own personality. So these all cases also, you are personally different from others. So your kind of services provided by the client, service provider may not be same to another person having different personalities. Psychological, what way you are motivated, what is your perception, and what is the learning, what way you are educated, or you are believing in attitude. That is the way the service provider is there. If I'm going to talk regarding the same parallel treating to the old women, to the village women, to the young women, to the executives women, so the kind of services will be different. So client wise the services will be, so that is the factors affecting the consumer behavior, and the consumers will respond as per which background they are belonging to. Now, impact of recent developments in technology, that is understanding consumer expectations and applying them to personalize. So, what is customers' expectations on the basis of, very often we know it very well that what kind of haircut you require. The suppliers, the service provider is saying from the beginning, and as per the requirement is trying to cut. Internationalization and market access, what is your access that you are going through the internet services and you are trying to give the solutions to that one. So what access you are trying to maintain, what extent the customization can be possible, that you are trying to see. A rising focus on customer retention, that that is CRM is day by day is improving, and services cases CRM is very much essential, that you need to interact with the persons to get back the services. So customer retention is more important. Loyalty bonuses you have to give, accumulation of usage points. So royal points you can give, like the petrol pumps they're trying to. Petrol is also rewards or something. Increase use of service bundling, not only a single service, try to give multiple services, like the nowadays also hospitals they are going to give that bundle services. Make my trip also, you'll find that hotel services, local travel services, flight services, so they are bundling and giving the package and like that. Now using the virtual experience, that virtual reality, when we are going for, and we can able to see to purchase a particular car or something, mostly we are going for the virtual reality, and we are trying to see. Enabling consumer reviews and interactions. So very often we try to take the information from the consumers, that what way they are reviewing and giving. Simplifying access, delivery, and post-consumption experience, how people are experiencing regarding this particular consumption experience they have, and their access delivery is there. Rising connectivity of the consumer. So we have everybody is connecting through the IT nowadays. So hyper connected through the cell phones, through the internet. We have connected. So we need to give the services as per the requirement. We must have the contact with them every time to give the right kind of services. Rising consumer expectations. So day by day, because of the technology, the expectations level are going up. So as per their expectations, there is a huge requirement. Company has to provide that kind of services so that they will be happy enough on that. So these technologies and other thing every time is it developing. So our task or every company's task is to provide the better services to the consumer. So I think that today's session will be quite interesting and it is going to help a lot to you. Thank you.